So I went down there. Yeah. What?
Good. Well, the people online can all see the screen, right? This is just to make sure they see me.
Yes, they see you right now.
Extremely important. All right. We got anybody else on?
Yes.
People popping on? I won't be mean and start right at 11:30. We'll give it 2 minutes, let people get on. So. Uh-oh, here comes our question guy.
Oh, Bobby's here.
Yeah. No fights allowed. What's up, Bobby? Good. Looks nice and high tech.
Is that a new? Really? I'm kind of in the market for one. It's crazy because I look for big screens like yours and most of them they sell. Yeah, I need something big.
We're giving them 2 minutes. So we're starting 2 minutes late.
She can't see us. Daisy.
No, she can. She can hear us too. Hi, Daisy.
All right, 11:32. We're ready.
Let's go.
So for everybody on the Zoom, I'm going to start, for everyone that doesn't know the format, I'll start, just go through a few things. Because I found that if I just ask the broker, sometimes people don't ask questions, like any questions? Nope, okay, bye. So I'm going to go through a bunch of things just that I've happened over the last month that see happening and things in the news, that type of thing, to keep you guys up to date, hopefully, and put you in the right direction. Then anyone online, please type your questions in while I'm talking. That way Frankie can be ready. Anyone that asks a question in the room here, I'll repeat it so we make sure everybody hears it and keep some continuity to what's going on. One of the first, and this one I've talked about before with listing houses, we just want to be careful of our verbiage when we're going back and forth with buyers. Probably once or twice a month, I'm getting like, well, they said that our offer was accepted. Offers aren't accepted till they're signed, but you also have to be careful how you, like, everyone wants to be excited and tell the other agent, hey, your buyer got it. But that's then a half hour later when they get an offer that's 10, 20,000 more, your buyer didn't get it anymore. So you just have to be careful how you state that. Normally there's changes that have to be made. So it should be more like, hey, make those changes and I will present it to my seller, but they're open to those terms. Or I know it kind of is a little crappy for buyers, but that's much better than you kind of putting in an email, you definitely got it, and then telling them you don't have it, because then that consumer gets upset. So you just have to be careful how you present that. Trek does have a form that you can use too, that has wording like your offer will be more, geez, I haven't looked at this form, like more acceptable to the seller if you make these following changes. So and obviously you never want to put something out there where they can just sign it and accept the offer. It always should come back to you for final signature as a listing agent. So just be careful with that. It's a market is still, not as busy, but still is pretty hectic. And we've just had a couple of houses that had 20 to 30 offers. So those situations get a little bit hairy. That's to my next point, that those type of offers, you should be putting good notes in your agent remarks in the MLS, and using two of the most effective ways is, putting remarks in there. Hey, I have multiple offers. This is the deadline date. Here's when we're going to decide. Here's how you're going to be notified is also a good thing. If you're going to notify it through the showing service, it's good to let them know that there. because, you know, you get 20 or 30 offers, you know, you can't be emailing everyone, calling everyone to let them know their buyer didn't get it. But at the same time, again, you don't want to, what happens is the consumer gets upset if their agent's going to them, well, the agent never called me back. They never did this. You know, if you can shoot it out to everybody through the showing service, or just letting them know how you're going to do it so they know.
On that note, the other day I got an email, it was a video, and the agent was letting me know that my clients are not going to be offered.
Okay.
But I thought it was needed, it was a little bit more personal, and you do a video, you add everybody who's not, who didn't get it, and it just feels, it felt really good, actually, even though I didn't get it, it still felt good. The way she presented it, yes,
Okay.
it was a little bit more personal.
And I don't know how well the mic picks up when talking to Yolanda was just saying that she got a video that that nicely let her know her buyer didn't get it, and it made her feel better, which I think even the buyer, I mean, that's what it is, right? It's just that probably was real positive. Oh, we would love to work with you, but your buyer didn't get it. You're the greatest, but still didn't get it. That type thing. So, yes.
So when you're getting back with these agents, they always go, well, what could have made our offer stronger? How do you respond to those without divulging? You just say it was better financially for them, or
Right.
I know it's a tough market.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have agents say, well, you know, your client wanted title, they wanted survey, they wanted, you know, all these things.
Right. What Tammy's asking is what should you say? The classic question always is the buyer's agent is saying, well, what could we have done to get our offer accepted? Because buyer's agents are always looking at how they can get that next deal. What did they do wrong? That type of thing. Unfortunately, my advice is to be purposely vague. I mean, you really don't want to give specifics. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? It wasn't a high enough price, or you didn't include enough things. I don't know, because you know, those are, to me, are obvious. So what's the only next step is, well, give me the exact amount, and you're not going to do that. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything you can really give them definitive, unless they did something that you can see that's like, hey, like I've seen offers from buyer's agents, like they're never getting this person a house because they're just not structuring it right. I mean, if you want to be nice, I think you could do something like that to say, hey, look, you know, in this market, you have to pay for title. I think here's the things I think would help on your offer, not really making it specific to yours, just saying, hey, these are the things. So again, just kind of that's kind of being specific, but not specific to the deal. Not saying, well, this one had that over mine. It's just here are the things that would have helped your offer. You know, and you know, obviously one of them is always price, but or whether it's a price or waiver or you know, different things like that on there. Topic number 2 is just Zillow. Just since that's a hot topic, everyone's all excited that Zillow's having trouble. Which, you know, they've been having trouble for a while. I mean, if you've noticed what Zillow's done, I think their business plan as far as involving agents kind of backfired on them, because they couldn't corral everything to have a great experience in customer service and things like that. And I think that, along with the market and their model of making it all electronic, and it's just going to spit out the home price, and now they're underwater on so many homes, and you've all seen that. You know, they have a house that they probably paid $10,000 too much, and then they're trying to flip it. Well, you know, that's not the greatest model. Yeah. And if anything, this would be the market that will work. So just imagine if we weren't appreciating this fast, they would be in a lot more trouble than they are, because we've appreciated leaps and bounds over the past 3 years. So a lot of different issues there. Now, you know, is it anything to get that excited about? No, there's companies right behind them that are going to just make an even stronger effort with them gone. You know, the main one being Open Door. I mean, they're, you know, a strong company. They're well funded, so it's not like that's going away. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with Zillow. You know, they're certainly, you know, seriously struggling. So, but there's going to be, that's not like that iBuyer system or that plan is going away. Open Door, OfferPad, those companies are still going to be here pushing that business plan. Open Door, just if you want to, just for a little tidbit, they were down 5% today, but they are announcing earnings at 5 p.m. Eastern today. So people are looking at that to see, hey, Zillow's having trouble. So some people are looking at both ways. Some are saying, well, are they going to be in trouble too? But then other tact on that is that no, they're going to be even stronger because Zillow's gone on that side of it. So, and they have a different system. They're more kind of one-stop shop where they want to take care of everything. So, you know, we're going to be looking at, you know, ways just like we do with everything of how we can compete. And the number one way always is that we're local experts and know the market better than any of these companies can. The other big thing is that they tout easy. So that is extremely important. What they try to put in their advertising, well, look what a nightmare it is to look at houses and this and financing and all that. So it's our job to also make it easy. That is our job. That is our job. You know, we know how emotional it can be. So that's important in our marketing too, because that's what they're selling. Look, don't go this route because this is the easy button. Just press there and everything happens. And, you know, you walk in your house the next day. We all know that's not how it happens, but we also have to be aware of that people want that. They want customer service. They want easy. They want to be taken care of. So, I mean, those are real important things moving forward, but that, you know, they're never going to beat us on the local aspect of it, how well we know the market and everything. And that's another thing to, the housing forecast is coming up January 7th. I recommend that's always a good thing to go, because people are, you know, I get the question all the time, well, are the housing prices going to take a dive, or what's going to happen to the market? You always got to look at where your news is coming from too, because national news is going to be different than Texas news. I mean, Texas is in a whole different, it is like a different country.
Yeah.
And the same with real estate. I mean, we have tons of people moving to Texas. We have military here. We have good weather. You know, we have a lot of things that a lot of other states don't have. So when you know, I think the projections are not for our housing prices to go down at all. Now, does that mean, you know, with the political climate and different things that are going on and inflation, can that still, I'm not saying that won't affect us, but no one's really predicting a big drop in prices or the demand for Texas land, houses, and all those things. So I think we have that to look forward to. You want to put ethics training up?
Yeah.
Just to go over that?
In addition to the ethics, Tony is asking, how do I do my 2 hours of contract class for my CE credit to renew my license? Like, is it?
You take a contract class?
I guess, so. Yeah.
There's certain
there are
ones.
certain
Yeah, there is certain ones. Is that, we can dig it out. It's probably listed on the Trek website. There's certain so I think everyone's pretty much aware that you have to take a contracts class as part of your renewal. The other part is this ethics training, which she'll bring up the links and everything for it. So it used to be that was part of your legal 1 and 2. So it still can be based on the year you took it. That's why this is so confusing. It's not a blanket thing. So we have, when you go on, and she's going to show you here at the website, when you go and check your status, it will either say you have it or you don't. So if you have it, that means you took legal 1 and 2 when it qualified as ethics training. If it says no, that means you didn't take legal 1 and 2. It's like, and it's the older class that had it and the newer. So I took legal 1 and 2, I think in 20, and that didn't qualify for the ethics training. So I had to go take ethics training to get, you know, that. So when you go on here and log in, and Frankie's also going to give you how to recover your password, because we don't all log into NAR very often. So she'll do that, have it all set up. You go in there and you hit a button, or you can either search on ethics, or she'll give the links right to it. And then it'll either give you the green or the red. If it's green, you don't have to do anything, you're good to go. If it's red and it says you need to do it, you need to go. And the class is right on the website. Probably, I took it, maybe took me an hour to take it. It goes through just different ethical scenarios and you answer questions. So it's not simple, but it's not real tough to take. So that has to be done by the end of December. They suspend your NAR membership and everything. So we'll be hounding you about it, because we want to make sure everybody does it. Does that all make sense to everyone?
And it's really, so when you you'll have to sign into NAR, and if you don't know your NAR ID, because it is not your MLS ID, you can do forget and retrieve your username. But I know this is kind of random, but if any of you have a realtor magazine laying around, it's literally on the front of your realtor magazine. So if you can't find it though, you can click on this, find your, see how they even have the picture of it. But then your NAR, well, I don't know how many agents bother to know where they're.
You should know where your magazine is, because I try to read it every month. There.
So,
And I was reading.
it is, I believe it's this one right here, see that? It's that, yeah, because it's 9 digits, so it's above your name, 9 digits. And look, Tammy just pulled one right out, that was so impressive.
Can everyone, you want to test, can they hear you?
They
on the mic?
can, Tony, you can hear me, right? Or Daisy, can you not? Can you hear me okay?
I don't want to aggravate people.
Yes, they can
Okay,
hear us.
good.
And I will send out this link too, that just goes over the contracts, course stuff. We did have a 3-hour contracts course here, but I'll let you know of any other upcoming ones.
Okay.
And hold on, was there anything in the chat?
I got a few more things too, so, for anyone,
Okay,
just so everyone's aware, I mean, this isn't until next year, but there is a proposal that got, it'll come in front of the legislature for increasing homestead exemption from 25,000 to 40,000, so that'll be voted on next May. So just wanted to let everyone know that, with, you know, with all these houses, that there is gonna be a lot of tax increases, obviously, you know, not this year, but, you know, such an acceleration of our average price, so that'll help a little bit, you know, knock some of that down if that goes through. So that's coming out. Has anyone, I didn't even really know this, to be honest, but the inspector's form has changed a little bit. Has that caused any issues, or anyone, when you get inspections now, anyone even noticed the form is a little bit different? Okay, so no. All right. No, and I, you know.
No, what's different?
I'm guilty. That's what I don't know. I wish they didn't have a red line. So obviously no one's saying anything. And it looked the same to me, but I didn't go through line by line. Maybe they added a category. So I'll check that out if there's something I think's pertinent, but I think it's not mandatory. So not everyone may be using it. It's mandatory February 1st, 2022. So a lot of inspectors may not be using it. So it's like our forms, they give a portion where you can optionally use it, and then it becomes mandatory at some point. So I'll send out some more information and a copy of it, because the copy is very basic. It just shows the lines because there's nothing to write. So it shows the category, and then, you know, where it says deficient, not deficient, and that's it. So I'm assuming some of those lines change. And I looked around for a red line, and that's what I always recommend when our forms change, is always go look at the red line, because that's so easy to know. If you had our old 1 to 4 and the latest version of 1 to 4, you can't go through and find the changes. But if you have the red line, they mark out everything that is gone, and then they like put in blue everything that's new, and it's really easy to see. And that's all on the website, the Texas Realtor website. You can always go to new forms and check that out. And also you can read the magazine there too. If you're not always at the office, or you can always go on there, you can get the electronic issues of the magazine and all the past ones and all that kind of thing. And you can search, it searches all the articles of the past magazine, things like that. So it's nice. I've never talked about this before, but only because I hear this like over and over. So, and I'm sure you do too, title fraud. Do you get clients asking you about title fraud? I mean, it seems like they have those commercials on, like every other commercial. Someone's going to steal your house, you'll never know it. They're going to take away. I mean, that's so untrue. It's extremely untrue. So I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that. It's a very rare occurrence. Does it ever happen? Yes, but they make it sound like you're like living on the edge of, you know, a cliff, you know, of danger because you don't have title fraud insurance. But, and then there's a nice article again in the magazine if you want to read in more detail. There's also some of the counties actually have protection where you can sign up. I don't think Bear County is one of them. So there's certain counties where you can go and sign up that if anything changes your title, they'll just email you as a notice, which would be the free services. So that's where these companies, probably a lot of them do that in counties where it's free. You sign up and pay them $100 a month, and they can just go and get the information for free out of there, and you're paying for essentially nothing on that side.
You can also do like LifeLock, and you lock your credit, and if anybody knows your social security number or anything, you have to give permission to get it pulled to.
Yeah. Tony was just saying LifeLock. Do you do LifeLock? I mean, I see
LifeLock, and you can set an amount
right
where you want. I keep mine at $200, but it'll send you a notice, and you know, you either approve it or you didn't. So and you can hook up all your credit cards to it. You can hook up your bank account to it, everything that you have pertained to it, to your social security number or any credit that you have.
Cool. So I mentioned before, but just to, I think it's a good thing to go. January 7th is the housing forecast. We got 2 tables. Are they full yet?
we are at 17 people.
Out of 20.
We are at 18 people. I have you on there. 19, so we're very.
Do you, I said no
Yes.
yesterday, but I'm saying yes.
Oh, that's-
So we might get, yeah.
So we may get another table, but they jacked the price up, so we're kicking in to make it reasonable, so that if we need to get another
Thank you,
table,
Rich.
we'll do that, because it is good, and that, everyone wants to know that, right?
You're in.
They're gonna preface the,
my table, bro.
they're gonna preface like any economist will is like, hey, they can't predict the future, but at least they're looking at all the indicators, they're looking at history, they're looking at a lot of graphs and things like that, so it's a good thing to go to. We're obviously in kind of uncharted territory, so I'm sure they're gonna say that.
I
hey,
always
we
remember when they said young people don't buy houses.
What year was that?
Entertaining.
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I was at,
That they don't buy houses.
I was
They
at
stay with their
government
parents.
affairs. I was at government affairs and they had already sold almost, well, over half. And that was quick. 'cause they-
yeah, it normally sells out.
All the VIP tables are sold out,
Right.
actually.
Well, it doesn't hurt that Ryan's there. Right, Ryan
And
Sermon's
Ryan's
there.
there,
to
yeah.
share as a speaker.
Usually they don't have a national
Ryan
speaker.
Sermon.
So should we, you think we should get another table?
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you after we're done.
Rich, can I go back to something
Sure.
I know you have other stuff to talk
No,
about,
you're
but you mentioned
This is
the,
after break, you're allowed.
but you mentioned the homestead exemptions.
Yes,
So, and you talked about the dollar amount that they were gonna apply to it, but what I wanted to know is the last time that we had this meeting, I thought you mentioned something about the timeline as to when the homeowner can apply and become effective immediately.
yes, and that did,
Time of purchase.
that did go into law, but it doesn't start till January 1. So that's already been voted on and went into law. It's just it won't start till January. So starting in 2022, you don't have to wait till that end of the year for your home to, you get it right away.
Okay, so there's nothing I can do for clients that have closed recently.
No,
Those guys gotta wait till January 1st.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. One thing too, I think Frankie sent out a bunch of it just as a reminder, December 3rd, our Christmas party, we're having it here. Gambling, fun, some upgraded food, all that kind of stuff. And then we're upgrading the awards. We were thinking maybe a more lavish or an off-site Christmas party. But I kind of like having it here, it's more a little down home, but I also like doing a little bit more for the award ceremony. So we're gonna have the award ceremony later. We don't have a date for it, but it'll be in February out at the golf course.
We do.
A little bit more of a party. Oh, we do have a date. I don't have a
February
date.
5th.
Yes. February 5th for the award. So we'll make that another, because we used to do the breakfast.
Oh, I
Is
didn't.
that?
Can we vote on it?
No.
There
You don't want to do it now?
wasn't
Parent
too
that
many.
up.
They did not do.
No, not really.
There was celebrating you. Anyway,
What was the Christmas party again?
December
December
3rd.
3rd.
December 3rd. Man, we're having so fast this year.
Oh, I sure.
Frankie, any questions on
I
the
will
those
change
people?
that for everyone.
Any Zoom-
Any
Zoom
questions? No, not yet. I'm just gonna change it so Tabor and Cassandra
So they can't go or
can. They
can't go?
can go.
Oh. Can't they go?
Come on, you're go for it. I know.
Do the Zoom call.
Can be there by Zoom?
So it's gonna be at the same golf course? Oh, that's cool, I like that.
Yeah, we might really like that, the outside fire, things will still be cool and stuff. I think it'll be fun to do that on there.
And that turns me
I think if you make a hole in one, it's like $25,000 or something like that.
good. I better send it out.
Any other questions here? I'm almost out of information or spiel. Any other things popping up, questions?
Ask them.
Said you were gonna look at a class for us for contracts or anything like that?
I will send more,
I cut off when
yeah.
I came in. so-
If I find, I mean, we probably won't have another one here because we just had one. But I will send out if I see any other title companies that do have contracts classes. And I try to encourage the title companies, there's the Facebook group, I Need CE. If you're not already in that, and they often they'll post in there, but if not, I might go find them and share them in there. And that's for any agents. I think there's like 1,000 agents around town that are in that group. So I try to post them in our group, but if it's CE, I also post in that.
Well, mine's not due till September, but I like to get it knocked out, in
Oh,
case
yeah.
it's short or anything.
And you were here when we taught the ethics training, right?
Yes, I had ethics, but I didn't do I actually did it early. I usually wait until next year because that's when the new laws come out. They come out every 2 years. So I actually did it early and I got information from last year, so I'm gonna wait to take my second part after January.
But are you green on NAR's website for ethics?
I am green on that,
Okay.
but I have to take it after the 31st.
Yeah.
After the 31st, I have to take it again. So I'm good up until the 31st, and I have to retake it again.
Sounds good. Any others?
Any
Ask the
more
broker.
questions?
Hey, just real quick, myself, Myra, Leslie, and Diane are hosting a Veterans Day event this weekend. And we're inviting all veterans to come out here. So we want them to be recognized. So if you have sons, husbands, wives, father, whatever, mother, that are military, bring them out. We're gonna have a good time.
And that's Saturday.
It's this Saturday here.
What time?
We're gonna start the ceremony about 12:30, so we'll be here from 12 to 1, 12 to 3. I'm
Okay.
sorry. We're gonna have like moon bounce for the kids and then axe. flying axes.
We have an insurance policy?
Ask the broker.
Ask the broker, ask the broker.
Rich said it was okay.
Yeah.
Daisy asked, will you go over calculating the option period? Basically, like, it begins the day after, right?
What,
Sign
are you
contract.
over calculating, what you said?
No,
Or when you're
how, when you
calculating?
calculate the option.
Yeah, so if you
how-
go under contract today, tomorrow day one.
Right.
You just count off from there, and then it's 5
I was
o'clock.
wrong, Daisy, I'm sorry. I'm not named, I prefaced that I'm not an agent. Well,
Ah,
yeah, I'm
you
not a
should-
realtor.
That was question 42.
All right, no more interesting trouble, not trouble.
No.
Everyone's transactions are going so.
Nothing.
I spoke to my servicer who's calling me up, and you might, again, I want to reiterate, you might want to call your past clients because as of October 1st, they're now starting to record lates to your clients if they're behind and they're still on forbearance. My servicer is Wells Fargo directly with the bank, and she said that she's dealing with about 30% still that still buried their head in their sand.
30% of what?
Of their portfolio that have not called or reached out to them,
That are not paying their mortgage.
that are not paying
And
them.
what area?
She didn't give me an area,
Okay,
but I just asked her in general.
okay,
I do know that their bankruptcy and their, is right here on Weisman. So the only reason she was following up with me was because I use it as a safety net. And they're following up October, November, and probably December. They're gonna call me one more time, and if they know that the old papers are being made, then they'll leave me alone.
I mean, I was just wondering if that was a national stat or Texas.
Probably national stat is what I would assume, a national stat, not San Antonio national, but still 30%.
Yeah, that's.
That, whether it's local or national, that's 30%. So
But you're not saying 30% of their overall loans are, you're not saying that.
what I asked her is
Or
how,
one in-
but I asked her a
30%
general
of
question,
forbearance.
what is the percentage of people that you still are not responding to your calls, reaching out to you?
Oh,
About-
probably 30%
about your
are
forbearance.
Forbearance.
And she said
Yeah,
about
they're
30% are not responding,
Okay.
or
So
they're
we don't
not.
know the size.
They're not
of that
asking
group.
for help, yeah, and I don't know that size. But she said there is quite a bit and 30%, so, you still need to ask, even if they probably still have options, but they need to come out and ask.
Well, that's a good call, mate.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
can grab her. So you guys were talking about the title, like title insurance. Maybe I should know this already, but like when it comes to the deed, I mean, I have this general question. My dad's like getting the loan out and like they don't have equity in it yet.
Okay.
And he's trying to be on the deed, but they haven't seen any paperwork or anything, period. And they're saying that they're putting me on the deed, like, can you just put someone on the deed?
Yeah, I think the title company can just do that at closing and put you on the deed.
Wouldn't I have to sign something?
Well, yeah, you'll have to sign.
Okay, well,
first,
you
yeah.
can just put people on deeds and not know about it, right? Like, what is this bank
You
doing?
trying to steal it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, no, they said they took care of it. And I'm like,
Okay.
I literally. have nothing
So
to
maybe
do
they
with
just got the paperwork ready, so you'll sign at closing, I think.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, but that wouldn't have anything to do with title, like what you were talking about, the title
No, title theft.
That's
Yeah.
like if
Well,
there's liens
kind
on
of.
your home.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's, that's what the scare tactic is, that someone could take title of their house, so they could transfer title to them and then start taking loans and taking out your equity. The way the
When
commercials
the
go.
way they're talking about that, because I've read the commercial, they make it sound like it's in general, like I could go in there and take the title away from
Right,
you.
exactly.
But that's not how it usually works. Usually when somebody gets title taken away, it's probably one of their kids that has some sort of power of attorney, some kind of connection.
Yeah, they make it seem like.
And that they
someone
can
just
sign for them and
Take your
they.
name out of a hat. and
Right,
get the
right.
title, which that's not.
Yeah, I felt like when I woke up, it wasn't.
All right, no more questions. We're gonna have Mona with We Insure talk for a little bit. She's been doing a great job over there and getting busier and busier, so she's gonna, I don't know what she's gonna say, but it's gonna be awesome.
Hear it.
Just gonna make it up.
I'll let you take the podium. Let me move this, I don't want to trick you.
Thanks, Rich.
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Hi, everyone. I
Hi.
think I know most of y'all. I've met most of y'all. I'm Mona Gallegos, if you don't know my name. I'm the agent in charge and producer for We Insure here in the office. And I just wanted to come and introduce myself. We aren't insurance brokers, so what that means is that we do have access to hundreds of carriers for home, auto, and commercial insurance. And in my unbiased opinion, what makes We Insure special is that for one, we're here in the office, so we're easily accessible. I'm also extremely responsive, or at least I try to be through email or phone, text message. And if you call my office number, it does go directly to my cell phone, so that way we try not to miss a beat. We can get to your clients as soon as possible. I know that a lot of times your closings come pretty quickly or you need something immediately. With We Insure, we can get multiple quotes at once. So I know with closings as well, I used to work in the title industry, so I know it can be stressful. It can be a lot of anxiety involved. So I want to try and take as much of that off as possible. So that way we can get you multiple quotes or find multiple quotes at once. They can make their decision and then just be done with it, and they have their insurance picked out. With insurance as well, it's important for realtors to understand too that insurance really isn't a one size fits all. There's a lot that goes into the rate. So it's my job to help explain that to the customer and get them the best quote possible, and something that's going to work for them, work for their home, but still meet their financial needs as well. I think that's it.
Invite them tomorrow.
What? Oh, yes, we have a happy hour tomorrow. We're partnering with One Guard Warranty, Advanced Protection, and Succession Title. And it's gonna be at Embers off in Stone Oak from 6 to 8.
I want to say, like, I was very pleased. I had clients that were buying a pretty nice house. They had some other quotes, went to her and they chose her because of the opportunity and everything like that. So really pleased.
So, let me just say this one thing. Let me say one thing.
It's not us, the broker.
No. No, but it's important for realtors to know this, right? Because a lot of times when lenders call, they go to their insurance agent, right? Because they're comfortable with that person. And typically it's like that person gives them the better rate, right? But what's important for us to understand as advocates for our clients is that that better rate may not be the right protection for the buyer, right? So one thing that Mona does really, really well is if you give her the opportunity, she'll explain to the client the kind of coverage that they have and why they need it. Because that does matter. You can't always just go for the cheaper rate. It's not, and if you do that, make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. But
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from Mona, so anyway. I just wanna say.
I guess something that I should add to, I do have y'all's and your client's best interest at heart. At the end of the day, I want what's gonna be best for them and their family and their home. And that's what I'm gonna try and do for them. And then kind of to go off what Bobby said too, I do love insurance. Most people don't say that, but I love insurance and I love being able to explain it to people and then getting them to really understand their policy. It's to me, that's very rewarding, and that way they know that they're not just buying something that's mandatory. And then I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something else.
Tony, did you?
So I use Mona for the first time too, and I sound like Renee. But, I spoke Spanish, she did her very best to try to explain, very best, and in the end, she did help them go get to, like Bobby said, the right insurance policy for, she was very knowledgeable. I was leery because she went with, and she'll tell you, I was very leery because she went with like a online brokerage. But she did her research on it. And that impressed me because she's just not gonna put you in something just to get you in something, even if it's a online company. So I appreciate that. So thank you for putting in your due diligence on that.
I like to make sure, I don't want to place people with something that they're not going to be happy with, so I like to try and do my research on it to make sure if it's something that I wouldn't get, then I'm not gonna do that
Do
to
you
someone
work
else.
with like, what are some of the all insurances? Sorry.
So we have, like,
Allstate, like what do you, like, I don't understand.
so we have companies like Nationwide, Travelers,
Safeco.
Safeco, Hippo, which is the one that Tony's clients were placed with. There's a lot of smaller companies as well.
Right.
Oh.
Reading the site.
He's reading off the-
Sorry, I should have
It's
read
like, man, he knows more than I do.
Ask the assistant.
That's my next home ec.
Thank
Is
you.
this a paid pitch?
Well,
Well,
thank you, Mona.
Thank you, Mona.
And, so we insure provided full way and before, because I know Rich is trying to get out of here. Wait, Rich. Oh, wait. Happy birthday. And there's cake, so I know if Rich is trying to get out of here, you might want to eat cake first.
I gotta get bored with Facebook, but you all know that already, I do that, but the messages on Facebook and all the text messages, I mean, it was really very much appreciated, it really made my day special along with my wife, getting my daughter, father here, so. It was a pretty awesome birthday, thank you all.
But you need more Instagram followers.
Yeah.